There's about 200 people that are missing that were in that box a few minutes ago.
In the dirt and out of reach of Darren Dalton.
I don't like what I see here.
Yeah, we have to change things around. Maybe we can change the luck. See what this is. It looked like a wild pitch from our angle.
Well, there you go. Now Olson has a chance to get ahead on over third base. He was running them one base at a time, so now this gets him over there. It was a breaking ball in the dirt. Darren Dalton came up a little bit on it and was able to slip through him, but he was moving to his left, so it's a tough play by any means.
Stretch of the imagination.
No, you don't have to stretch for that. So, Michael, you know that Tug McGraw has your speech, right?
What was that? Is that for his private collection?
Let's pick up the conversation about the extraneous things after the Phillies get out of this jam.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What?
You call this a jam right here after what they did last night?
Mr. Serious. Excuse us.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have Gary here to calm things down. It is early in the game. It doesn't matter what happens now, right?
Right, you got about 200 guests. You better go entertain.
I already said hello to every one of them, all 200.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Ooh, this one hit deep to right field.
Don't tell me.
Carrying.
It is gone. A 3-run home run for Jeff Treadway.
I'll see you guys later.
You talk about the kiss of death.
I'm out of here.
There was an off-speed pitch that hung right up in the wheelhouse. The 3rd homer of the year for Treadway.
Boy, you had a key word right there, hung. He got that ball right inside there, and Treadway, all he had to do was get the bat head through there, and that's exactly what he did. Watch this ball inside and up a little bit. Breaking ball that just stays right in the hitting area.
And it's catch-up time once again.
And it just kept going and going and going. We talked about earlier how fast the Braves can score runs, and just like that, they're ahead 3-2.
For Lonnie Smith. Off the glove of Combs. It looked like Thon had a play on it.
He could go to second.
He is. And he's there.
All right, I'll take this one. Charlie got a little lazy right then. As a third baseman, when the ball's hit back up the middle at the pitcher, your first responsibility is run toward the mound in case it caroms off his body or he just ticks his glove and lays around the mound. You watch Charlie now. See, he gets a little lazy. Dickey's going after the ball, and Charlie never even actually moved. He thought it was a ground ball up the middle. That might be a lesson for him.
Right, and that's a habit you should just get into. Yeah. You don't anticipate the pitcher going to catch that ball.
As soon as it's hit back up the middle, you sprint right toward the mound.
That's a good point, Michael.
And one of the more aggressive base runners that you'll find makes it to second base. Jim Presley now.
Lonnie has had some mishaps on the field, like they used to call him skates because he fell, but one thing he never did, and that was not hustle. He hustled every step of the way. If he made a mistake, he usually did it hustling.
Hard hit ball. It skips through. Here comes Lonnie Smith around third with the 4th Atlanta run. And Presley with an RBI. And we've got a 4-2 Atlanta lead, and look at it again.
Okay, this is a fastball. Presley's looking in there. He just stays right with it, and I mean, that ball was roped.
Presley looks to me like just a dead fastball hitter. Well, what I've seen with that, the big leg kick he has.
Well, he was hitting 600 off of Combs coming in there, and the first time Combs was able to strike him out, threw him a fastball to start him off, and all breaking balls and changeups. This time starts him off with the fastball, and he's right on it.
Darrell Knowles is on the mound, and Don Carmen, you saw, throwing in the bullpen.
So, Gary, did you get cold out there?
Oh, it's freezing, man. We were saying get the hook out. This guy's going to talk forever.
You guys know me. My partner's here, right? Hey, how long did it take? I told you I had 50 minutes. I cut it down to what, about 10?
Yeah, but that was excellent, man. You touched on a lot of important things, and very well said.
Thank you. Ditto. It's hard to tell people who've never experienced that, but
well, there aren't too many who have.
Talking into a reverberating microphone is difficult.
Yeah, you can hear yourself.
That's right. you talk and then you hear what you say coming back, and you have to talk while you're hearing what you just said.
You know, the most impressive thing about that speech was, how'd you get it printed out like that? You used to have to write mine out shorthand. You had it like it was a script.
That's called speech type. But I want you to realize I didn't refer to it hardly at all.
Yeah. What were those things that were flying out of there?
Well, I had to turn the page in case I got that lump in my throat or something. You know, I wanted to be able to look down and kind of regroup. So I wanted to, it's like, you know, the script. I wanted to know where I was.
Where we are here is 2 balls and a strike to Dale Murphy. There's 1 out. The Braves have plated 4 here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Would I be remiss in asking you guys real quickly to recall how the Phillies got their runs?
No, you would not be remiss at all. Who else but Lenny Dykstra led off with a walk.
Right.
There was a double by Rod Booker that had runners on first and second. Von Hayes single right back up the middle on a fastball. How's that?
Thank you. Just curious. I've been kind of involved.
Yeah. Ball 4 to Dale Murphy. Second walk given up by Combs.
People are getting a little impatient, I think, in the dugout and in the stands right now.
Justice with runners at first and second. Only 1 out.
Gary, you got to like this guy's stroke.
Yes, sir.
Good looking stroke.
Jim Barniak, Gary Maddox, Mike Schmidt together. Young Jonathan Schmidt standing by to critique.
Well, I tell you, good question for Jonathan was how did he feel receiving that jersey, that road jersey of yours? That was, that's a big thing.
There's a strike.
I know you don't like to have them on the air or anything like that. You know, you got to keep kids a low profile. But Doug Collins and I was talking. I mentioned to Jim earlier, and Doug was saying, wouldn't it be interesting to know what his kids are thinking right now?
Really? Maybe we can get a straight answer from him. I don't know.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Justice struck out his last time up on a breaking ball. I'm sure Combs has set him up for that again.
Wow.
Could have been it, but it's fouled. Near us.
We got Jonathan up here in case we get a foul ball.
Can he make the plays? Okay.
See, the hammer showed up. That was excellent.
Hammer and Hank.
Yes,
They
sir.
loved him too.
Yeah.
That's quite an honor to have the.
Little looper that's going to fall in front of Hayes.
It's going to be interesting at the plate.
Way off the plate. Way off the mark. Not the only good thing that happened there was Combs effectively backed up the errant throw.
See, you're going to, you're going to hear some boos on this play right here, but when you have a pitcher on the mound like Combs who is ball 1, ball 2, a base hit here, the outfielders, your arms are going to get stiff. You don't have any way to get loose and stay loose. And that ball, to me, looked like Vaughn just didn't get off a good throw.
Also wet.
Yeah, it's definitely wet out there.
And also, I do believe, time for Don Carmen. 5 runs here in the 3rd. There's still only 1 out. Manager Leyva to the mound. Carmen, who has been warming up, will replace Pat Combs.
Okay. But I know, Mike, I know it meant a lot to have Hank Aaron here, especially growing up as kids, and the respect that we have for those types of names, and to have them pay respect to you and be considered in that same light, that has to be a tremendous honor.
Well, it sure was, Garrett. Hank and I go back. You know, we did a thing together. What was the name of that function that you and I and Hank did at the cemetery in Washington?
No Greater Love.
That's right. No
Exactly.
Greater Love. But we go way back. Hank and I have been involved in a couple of things, and it's a great honor to have him come. As you know, time Hank Aaron, greatest home run hitter of all time, when he graces your party.
Yeah, you've arrived.
The good-looking guy on the left end of your screen there is Jonathan, who we've been talking
wheel
about.
him back here so he can see us all on TV. Look. Gary wants to ask him a question.
All right.
How's it going, John?
Good.
Good seeing you, buddy. I wanted to ask you how it felt to receive your dad's road jersey there that they presented to you down on the field. That had to make you feel pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Can't have
think-
one-word answers.
Do you think you would entertain the thought of letting me borrow it for a while or something? Or what are you going to do with that?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna keep it in my room for a while.
That's good.
Then
Short,
decide what to do with it.
show it to your friends. That'd be a good item for show and tell. What do you think?
Yeah.
So we don't do that anymore, right?
Use it to cover his Nintendo.
But that was good. Are you interested in baseball? Are you
Yeah.
playing a lot now? What position?
Second base.
Second base, Keystone corner. Well, good, man. It's good to see you again. And say hello to your mom and to Jessica for us, all right?
All right.
All right, see you.
Meanwhile, the Braves still try. Whoops, there's the king of late night interviewing. Larry King was working with the Atlanta Braves tonight as a special guest. Now they're going to intentionally pass Thomas. One out. Braves will now have them loaded. Larry King and Don Sutton. Larry's a great baseball fan, by the way.
I was just over there. Did a little piece with TBS.
Before you came here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
No.
We're only waiting for an
It wasn't my
exclusive
choice.
here.
It wasn't my choice. I couldn't wait to get out of there and get over here with my buddies.
All right.
That's a small time operation over there compared to what we got going here. You kidding me? It made me stand up in the back.
Oh. Larry King, you know. He knows Frank Sinatra personally. Greg Olson with the bases loaded. Don Carmen trying to get out of it.
Mike, I was saying this guy looks like Milt May. What did you think?
Facially?
Yeah.
I know he crouches like Bob Boone. He's on the wrong side of the plate for Milt May. But yes, see the resemblance.
Carmen is high for ball one. Phils need two.
Boy, he comes into a very tight situation here.
Now it's a ball and a strike.
Talk about strengths of a ball club. Last night, the middle relievers of the Phillies were very impressive. Ackerfelds, Parrott. Tonight, now you come back with Carmen. This, you know, Don's a quality pitcher and, you know, potential starter, and it's a strength of the Phillies, that bullpen.
Yes, sir.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Dick Allen was here. Dick looks good.
I'm trying to get him to stop by. Old friend of mine. Trying to get everybody to stop by.
You know where Dick is right now? Probably down with the ground crew, right? That's where he used to hang out when he was
Probably
here.
sitting at in that glass screen right behind home plate.
Oop, there's a called strike 3. Don would like to get this inning over a little bit before the rest of us. He thought there were 3 outs.
So there's nothing wrong with a little wishful thinking. This ball, I think Olson thought this ball was up a little bit. Maybe.
Well, you got the young umpires. Maybe you can try and fake them out. Watch the expression here. He thinks he made an inning ender.
Any way you look at it, whale of a job by Don Carmen. Comes in with the bases loaded and 1 out and strikes out a hitter. This game's still very winnable, but it could become very unwinnable with a double here or something of that nature.
And that's usually when it happens is when you have 2 outs. A pitcher has a tendency to let up a little bit, saying, hey, I got out of the big jam right there.
Pete Smith
with a pitcher hitting too.
In my scouting reports, he's listed as a poor hitter.
You're really trying to fang us now, right? You could have told us he was a great hitter. That would have been better off.
Mike, you can say anything you want tonight. Not going to happen.
And we found out what vertigo really meant, Mike.
But be ready to play big league announcing Monday.
Did you get clear on that vertigo?
Yeah.
Got a letter.
By the way, I didn't second guess you on that last night with the fear of heights. I thought vertigo last night, but I didn't say it had something to do with your sense of balance.
Right.
Oh, great.
I thought acrophobia was a fear of heights, but
Yeah, right. Well, what? This one is popped straight up.
I knew that last night.
Charlie Hayes for the third out, so a good job by Don Carmen.
I'm going to let you guys go and finish this thing out because I know you can handle it.
Oh,
you're out of here?
So you're not going to be doing the middle innings then?
Oh, no. I'm supposed to only do one inning with you guys, gentlemen.
Oh,
I owe you a few innings, Gary.
Tell me about it.
You're stacking them up here, babe.
At the end of Mike's
Good luck.
inning,
All right.
the Braves 5 and the Phillies 2.
Every day, it makes things happen. The Matchmaker, the New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages. Every day, it goes to work. Every day, it matches more buyers with more sellers. Every day, we use it and use it more.
Excuse me, can I use this?
The genuine New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
Gentlemen, welcome. This way. Beautiful thing. Cool.
Ed, look at this.
What is it?
It says to get Genie Rub Light.
Rub light?
Rub Light.
It says to get Genie Bud Light.
The clean, fresh taste of Bud Light won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Okay, Ed, now you get a wish.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Get a free oversized beach towel with pictures of 3 Phillies players for children 14 and under. Courtesy of MAB when the Phillies play the Atlanta Braves. 1:35 Sunday, May 27th. Call 463-1000 for ticket information.
Once again, a reminder that you can hit a home run for PAL, bringing your new or usable sports equipment to any USA Video store and receive a free movie rental for each usable donation. And enter the contest while you're doing so to win a Nintendo baseball simulator game for the USA Video nearest you. And you think I got honored tonight?
Oh, man.
Who writes this stuff?
Oh, wow. Where did Mike go? I had something for him to...
So Pete Smith now enjoying a 5-2 lead into the bottom of the third, where Von Hayes will start it off. Von Hayes accounted for the Phillies 2 runs with a 2-run single back in the first. Takes a strike. Bond now with 27 RBIs, continuing to lead the National League in walks with 29. Hit well to right center field, but Dale Murphy puts the glove up. That'll send up Ricky Jordan as Bond makes great contact
Yeah,
here,
man,
Gary.
he jumps all over this fastball here. Dale Murphy zeroes right in on it.
He would be, I guess it's fair to say, in some level of comparison, the Mike Schmidt of Atlanta. At least in terms of the fan, I mean, his accomplishments are not going to seriously approach Mike's, but he's probably the most popular player that's played there since Henry Aaron.
There's no question about it.
And maybe more popular because Henry's career spanned a couple of different cities. Murph's been a true Atlanta Brave.
Well, and such a good, good work habits, good guy to have on the team, the way Mike was also. And those types of guys there that, if they're the star of the team and they're working as hard as a guy like Dale Murphy works, hey, the rest of the guys have to follow, and that's the type of leadership you need. Yes, you need a rah-rah type guy, but you need those basic good work habits.
A ball and 2 strikes to Jordan. Way out in front of that one. The Braves were 2-13 at the outset, and victimized by a lot of that shoddy play was Pete Smith. The stuff he's thrown up there tonight doesn't make him look out to be anything but a winning pitcher. Just misses.
I think his slider seems to be quite flat, and hitters are still able to make contact on it. I think if he gets a little bit more snap on that slider, I think he'll really have something going there. This is a curveball here. See, bad pitch.
Hit high but not deep, and here comes Lonnie Smith. Now there are 2 away.
Now that was a routine play, and Lonnie had it all the way. But if the last play you made was drop one, then you need to catch one, just to say, okay, I'm not. There's Lonnie zeroing in.
Check that glove.
See, look how his head is looking up right there. That's a big mistake. You have a tendency to look up just as the ball starts to go in the glove. You take it for granted and look up a little bit, and that's as soon as it'll pop out.
There's a ball to John Kruk. The Braves have 6 hits. The big one, a 3-run homer by Jeff Treadway, and the score is 5-2. Here in the bottom of the 3rd.
I think if there's anything that is really surprising about the Phillies is you thought that if they had any trouble this year with pitchers, it would be left-handers. That left-handers should be able to pitch to this ball club, yet they have worn out left-handers.
7-1.
Yes, sir. When you have a guy like Kruk out there, Dykstra, Von Hayes, you would think that they would be vulnerable.
Two and 1 count to Kruk. Ooh, this one is smashed. Gant, though, with the good speed, almost had too much speed, nearly overran the ball. And so the Phils go down in order in the 3rd, and the Braves lead here 5-2. We're going to have more with Mike, believe it or not, as we. No, where are we at here?
Here's where we're at. We're back in our Prism Sports studios. I'm Larry Rosen. In recent years, Mike Schmidt has let down his wall. His emotions have been on display much more. But a few years ago, it was not that way. Here now is an excerpt from a 1987 interview where Mike talks about his own emotions.
I think there's a lot of emotion on my part that people tend to overlook. I think if you're labeled an unemotional player, people don't look for emotion from you. They don't necessarily watch you in an emotional situation. I don't, and for years I've said this, I don't play the game, I don't know whether to call it flair or not, but I don't play the game trying to prove that I'm emotional like a lot of players do. A lot of players get off on sliding when they don't have to slide, and watching home runs, and a lot of players enjoy drawing attention to themselves. I'm probably just the opposite of that. I enjoy drawing attention everywhere but to me. I like to just sneak in and do my thing and sneak out. It's an area of my career that will always be discussed. Probably a lot of people wish I could have been more emotional, and maybe some people think I'm all right.
Tonight, certainly the sellout crowd thought that he was all right. Stay tuned. Jim Barnett comes back for the top of the 4th with his wide assortment of guests. We'll send you back now to Veterans Stadium.
Okay, Jim, here you're going to see Ron Gant. It looks like he's going to overrun this ball, but what happens, the left-hander hit it, and the ball will tail away from you, so you have to really time it to get there at the same time when the ball is coming back to you. So he almost overran it, but that's what happens to a center fielder off the bat of a left-hander.
He has one good catch and one great catch tonight. And Gant to lead it off. 1-1. Braves might just keep this guy in center field for a while. 296 hitter right now.
Well, yeah, that'll help a lot. If you're hitting well, they'll experiment with you.
It's kind of showing like he might be able to handle left-handed and right-handed pitching. Here's
That's a base hit.
Drop shot in front of right field again. They're falling for the Braves tonight.
Yeah, but if you're the Braves, you're saying, yeah, they fell for Tommy Herr last night. You know, it all, it all evens out. I bet you Gann will tell you about the ones he hit hard. And all you go up there and swing that bat, try and make good contact, and the results are going to take care of themselves. And you hope that you can get a lot of those over the course of the season.
Seven Brave hits now. We're in the top of the fourth. There's another hard hit ball, but it's going to hang for Von Hayes. Well, we promised we would try and come up with some guests tonight, and we are about ready to do that, as this booth is a shambles here with microphone wires going all over the place.
Say, man, I wouldn't give up my seat for anyone, Robin. I hope you know that.
We welcome number 36, Robin Roberts. Get him hooked up there. Lonnie Smith taking this one foul to left field. And Robbie, the last time I saw you, you were throwing BP to a bunch of college kids trying to teach them how to play this game down in Florida at University of South Florida.
They just lost in their NCAA game yesterday. I read in the paper. East Carolina beat them 4-2. I haven't coached for 4 years, but they've done very well without me.
How'd you feel down there tonight?
Oh, I felt great. I felt great.
The runner goes. Looked like they might have had him, but Rod Booker unable to field the ball cleanly, Gary.
Yeah, it was. It was a good throw by Darren. They had it pegged all the way, and I mean just a seed. Looks like Booker just kind of took his eye off of it. He's concerned about where he was going to have to make that tag. Took his eye off of it a little bit. The ball got away from him.
Well, tell us what you're about these days, Rob.
I'm checking my grandkids. We have 8 of them.
Uh-oh. That'll keep you busy.
So we visit a lot. I go around and make 2 shows a month of these memorabilia shows. I enjoy them. A lot of the older people remember my act. The kids just know I'm worth $18 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can turn open those books and find out exactly what your value is.
I'll tell you one thing. It's the most fantastic record I've ever seen. I can't believe it, but I just go along and keep smiling.
You're $18 now?
I know. Well, for one, some of them are worth more than that. I don't know what they're worth. The guy pays me so much for showing up, and I smile at everybody, and I enjoy it very much.
Here's one loop to right field. Hayes makes the play, and that'll be 2 outs now. The runner holds at second base. Gant. There is Robin.
Wasn't tonight nice?
Terrific.
I mean, wasn't, and you know, can you believe this business has become such an entertainment business, and it's just nice to be a part of it. And the Phillies being in first place made it all that much better.
Boy, I tell you, Mike was definitely thrilled about some of the guys that were able to come back. And
yeah, it was great. You know, when they retired my number, they did it in the motel in Clearwater, Florida. No, they did. Ray Kelly was there and a couple other guys, and the owner. And now, since then, I've come back with Richie and Carlton and Smitty, and it's fantastic. It just shows you how baseball is so much different than it used to be. It really is a big business, and it's fun to be a part of.
I'm not letting you slip by yet. What do you mean, a motel in Florida?
No, at the Causeway Inn or something.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no. I was with the Yankees, and I was coming over to play against the Phillies, and the Phillies had said they would like to retire my number. So I came over, and they retired my number at noon, and I pitched against the Phillies at 2 o'clock in Jack Russell Stadium. And
that's a great story.
I think they beat me.
1 ball and 1 strike. Jim Presley, the hitter.
So, Robin, you're not involved in baseball in any way right now?
No, just a fan and watch. I watch the Braves. I watch the Cubs on the cable down home. Of course, we watch ESPN. I watch so many games now. I know all the players because I watch so much. But the other night I saw Pete Smith pitch against Gooden and Clemens pitch against Stewart in the same night. And I'm saying that is really being a baseball fan, being able to watch those things.
There's a bullet to right center that's going to score another run. This will be the 6th run as Gant scores, and into second base with another base hit and another RBI, Jim Presley.
Well, the Braves, I think, are showing something.
They haven't put it together yet, Gary. They got good arms, and Gant is a good ball player. The kid in center swings the bat. Presley plays good at third. Murphy's had a pretty good start. The kid at second, Treadway, can hit. He's the shortstop. They've had another guy, Blauser, who's hurt, and Andre is playing there now. And all in all, but they haven't put together. The Phillies have been. Everybody contributes. It's fun to watch them. It's like the Orioles last year and the Cubs last year. They had a lot of young guys, and they just put it together. And so far, the Phillies have done that, and that's what makes winning teams. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's got to contribute.
The Braves had a little streak where they won 5 games in a row, but I thought that it's good. Last night, that was a tough loss for that ball club, and to bounce back tonight and score some runs, I think that shows a lot of potential.
Well, they started off terrible. I don't know what it was, 2-13 or something at the start. It was awful, but since then, they've played much better, and Murphy's been hitting the ball a little better. Olson's helped him a little as a catcher to go with the wit, and really, they're a fun club to watch. I enjoy it very much.
This guy, Robin, is drawing a lot of praises, the way he swings.
Yeah, he just come up, though. I haven't seen him much. I've been traveling, but I saw him one night in Atlanta, and he has been hitting the ball. He was up last year a little bit, but he's doing much better this year.
When they brought him up last year, he went 1 for 20. Battled back. Of course, he had a great month of minor league ball at Richmond, and then he's been whacking it pretty good since coming up. They going to get some baseball in that Tampa St. Pete?
They're rooting for it. It's a tough thing, because baseball's been so slow to make that decision, and a lot of the people that want ball clubs and they really wish they'd make a decision. It's not an easy thing. It's obvious. It's tough. But the big thing is the ball players and whether you have enough to get big league teams or not. I don't know. It's not an easy thing to handle, but Tampa's looking for it. Well, it's more St. Pete than it is Tampa with the ballpark being over there like it is.
Well, they've got the leg up on the other guys. They got the stadium in place, sort of, right?
They think they have. I'm not sure. I don't know for sure what the story is, but they do want it very bad. It's a big area, and they can handle it. It's a real baseball country, as most of them are. A lot of towns in this country would love to have big league baseball.
Justice goes the other way and deep, but Dykstra waves off John Kruk and puts it away for out number 3, but Atlanta does get one more. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th now, with Robin Roberts our guest, the Braves 6 and the Phils 2.
I say, put on some steaks and get the Queen a Bud Light.
Bud Light's clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never lets you down.
Henry, they're Pop-Tops.
Everything else is just a light.
Gasoline advertising uses these words a lot. You know what they mean? Gasolines are all the same. Until now. One is better. In a BMW test run on each of the 6 leading national gasolines, one clearly surpassed the others. Texaco System 3. Only Texaco System 3 removed deposits from dirty intake valves. Can that make a difference on the road? And you thought all gasolines were the same.
Well, here are the lucky winners in our Golf with the Flyers contest. There you see the names. Take note of them if you were one of the contestants. And these guys will be playing golf at the Riverton, New Jersey Country Club on June the 4th. Robin Roberts joining Gary Maddox, and Yours truly, Jim Barniak, here as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still a Phillies fan?
Yeah. It's been tough the last few years, you know. It's been a scramble, but this year I'm very surprised, Jim, and I guess a lot of people are, that they're doing so well. But you know, they got the coaches that know each other, and they got the team pretty well put together from last year. And a guy like Charlie Hayes has hung in there, you know, and you know, he's hitting, what's he hitting, 7th in the lineup now?
Yeah, they moved him up to 7th from 8. He started out hitting 8.
And you know, Gary, that's a relaxed position for a young guy. It takes, and a guy that can pop the ball like he did last night. He's liable to sneak up on you hitting down that low in the lineup, you know.
Pete Smith now with that breaking ball again on the outside part of the plate. He's looking sharp tonight, Rob.
He's got a good arm. Good arm.
Getting closer, Gary. We got another glove up here, though.
They got Smoltz, who's a good-looking pitcher. Lilliquist and Glavin, they have 4 young guys. Clary, I don't know. He's a young guy, too, isn't he? I don't know. I haven't seen him that much. But I know they got the nucleus of a good young staff.
And they got the veteran Charlie Lebrand about ready to come off the disabled list. And they tell me they've got a terrific kid at Richmond named Steve Acker. So they're pretty solid in that area.
I wonder if Necro's teaching any of those guys that knuckleball.
He might be teaching it, but nobody's listening.
You know, Gary, the best 2 knuckleballs I ever saw that I was involved with, I was with the Yankees a little bit. Mickey Mantle had the doggone it. No, he really did.
Yeah.
And Granny Hamner, who played shortstop for us, had another one. I couldn't get it to even make one little movement, you know, and it's amazing how few guys do throw it, you know, but when you do throw it, it's obvious. It gets a lot of people out, but it's something that's it's hard to teach. I think you got to have a stiff action there that's very difficult to come up with.
Thon with 1 out takes the ball. I don't think there's 3 or 4 guys throwing the knuckleball anymore in the whole, you know, both leagues. Just about that many.
Charlie Huff, right?
Yeah, he's one. Tom Candiotti.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen him much, but he throws a lot of them like Necro did.
2 gone for the Phils. That was Andres Thomas with the play. Phillies with just 2 hits now off of Pete Smith. And this will be Darren Dalton. Gary, I don't think there's anybody that is a what you'd call a serious knuckleball pitcher in the National League.
No, there aren't any at this time.
To left center field, and the Phils go quietly here in the 4th.
What's that guy say? I'm out of here. They're doing bad with me. Thank you for
all righty.
Nice to see you. Good luck, Gary. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, buddy.
5-2 Braves, and our special thanks to Robin Roberts.
My name's John Crook. I'm a man of few words. Very few.
They're bright, they're cool, they're neon green sunglasses, free for all children 14 and under, and they're compliments of Breyers. Sunday, June 3rd, 1:35, when the Phillies take on the New York Mets. For information, call 463-1000.
Going to Mr. Goodbyes always reminds me of my first wife, Gloria. She was a real bird of paradise. Times were tough. We didn't have much money, but we were happy. Then one dark day, she ran off with a chicken rancher from Boise. But I still got that deck.
It's a 6-2 lead, not 5, as we head now into the 5th inning. 5 in the 3rd and a singleton, as you see. In the 4th for Atlanta.
Nice of Robin to drop by. It's always good to see
yeah.
him. He looks so well. He said he's doing a lot of traveling now and enjoying it. I think it's such a shame that he's not involved in the game. You know, when you take superstars out of the game of baseball, you know, you really lose a valuable source, because a young player, when he sees a superstar, if a guy tells him something, if a Robin Roberts or Willie Mays or Hank Aaron, if they tell you something, you just take it as fact automatically. Whereas a coach or something like that, without those credentials, you have to go ahead and try and see if you believe them. But when a guy like that, all he has to do is tell you something and you try it right away. Tremendous resource.
And a real lover of baseball. I tell you, I did see Robin pitch a number of times, but one of the most vivid memories of Robin Roberts is, as we all wait after this pitch, he's trying to make a comeback after an arm injury, and he's in Reading, Pennsylvania. Here's a guy with almost, at that time, I guess, 250, 60-some wins. His career has been doomed, and he went and pitched in Reading to try and get some innings in to try and make a comeback, which he eventually did with the Baltimore Orioles in the latter part of his career. But he was hanging up the old uniform on a nail, and I'm not exaggerating, in that old Reading clubhouse with you know, kids maybe just a little over half his age. Very poignant picture in my mind.
Well, it's good that for him. I know there were a lot of people at that time saying, boy, he should hang it up or whatever, and you feel you have a tendency to feel sorry for somebody like that. But Robin, you know, he went back out and proved to himself that he could play, and he got it out of his system. So at that point, it wasn't, hey, quitting so that he satisfied a lot of people and then spend your life wondering, hey, I could have done this or that. And he battled back and made it. So I'm sure he feels that he got the most he could out of his ability.
Thomas with a walk, and Olson the batter. He talked about you know, matchups that he's enjoyed watching on TV, but there was probably none finer in his day, in the early 50s, mid 50s, then, as we take a look at this foul tip, as when he and Don Newcomb went at each other. Dodgers and Phils. A lot of fans out there will tell you how they sat in Connie Mack Stadium and watched many a duel with those two. And neither one gave an inch. Both of them were hard throwers.
What did he say? If we want to find out how great they were, just see how much they're worth in those
bubblegum cards. Yeah. I'm glad to see he's up to $18. He deserves it. I'm going to check on you. See
46 cents. And that might be stretching it. A rookie card might be worth 46 cents.
Well, I saw one the other day, and I'm kicking myself for not picking it up. You were a young giant at the time with a major league set of hair.
Oh, yeah. I went through that phase.
How you ever got a hat on?
To the Bake McBride barber school.
No outs, a runner on. Olson.
What, you didn't have 46 cents on you?
Right.
You didn't pick it up?
Well, I must apologize. I just kind of saw it on the top of a pile, and I kept walking, and then it dawned on me, you idiot, why didn't you pick that up? Whatever the price.
Thanks.
Ooh. Hit sharply down the line, and that's going to fall. Olson will speed on into second base. The ball gets away from Kruk. They're going to send the runner. And scoring easily now is Thomas. Olson stays at second base as the Phils mishandle that one a bit out in the outfield, both in the corner and the relay.
Well, that warning track out there is a rubbery substance, and when that ball hits, it doesn't just bounce straight, it bounces all kinds of ways, and you don't know which direction it's going to go. So you see Kruk come over right. Watch the hop it takes off the fence because of the spin, gets by him, and that allowed Thomas to come all the way around and score.
Things looking better and better now for Pete Smith as the Braves lead goes to 7-2.
7-2, and they're going to try and push this run across, having Smith sacrifice, which would move Olson up to third base, and a fly ball could score him. Oh, and a beauty.
Perfect sacrifice bunt. The runner Olson is the third. Smith does his job. And you knew this was coming. The nightly wave. Ron Gant, an outstanding game with 2 fine plays in center field and a couple of base hits tonight. It's going to drive you nuts if you're out there in the field now. Deep to left. Kruk now has it gauged. The runner tags at third and make it 8-2 Atlanta. So an RBI sacrifice for Gant.
And that's good baseball by the Atlanta Braves.
Jeff Treadway will be the hitter. One ball, no strikes to Treadway. Just foul down the first base side. Well, we don't have to tell this guy how to handle the microphone, Gary. Stopping by now, and we got the kind of game where we're glad to have you. Doug Collins.
It's nice to be here, Jim.
We wanted you anyway, Doug.
See Gary Lee Maddox again.
Your old neighbor?
Yes, sir.
We were reminiscing a little bit earlier about the 3 of you guys starting out without any kids and now looking at each other's.
Really? I see Gary's got a Gary. It's about 6'3". My Chris is about 6'3" now, so it means we're getting real old now, Jim.
Hey, Doug, I shared with him that Chris beat you one-on-one.
That's right, and I gave up the game. I put my sneakers up.
Kind of surprised to see you loose here with all the basketball going on, but you got a couple of days off, I guess.
Well, I think Mike's thing got you here, right?
Treadway going for another one. This one longer than the first. And the Braves are really putting the lumber to it.
Well, Jim, it really worked out with my schedule with CBS doing the games this weekend. My last game will be on Wednesday night, Game 5 of Detroit-Chicago series, and then I'll be through up until the NBA draft. CBS will take over the rest of the playoffs. So I've been really busy up until this time. I think I've done about 13 or 14 playoff games.
So how about your coaching duties? You looking to get back in?
Gary, I really am enjoying right now the broadcasting, and I think you can appreciate having children. You know, having Chris and Kelly to get an opportunity, as we see Lonnie Smith with a base hit up the middle, but to have an opportunity to see your kids grow up, and you know, you can't turn back time, and you know, I'm still just 38 years old, and if I can spend a few years in the broadcasting and maybe coach later, but I don't want to look back and see that I've missed my kids' activities. You just can't put a price on what that means from when we're watching them grow up now.
Well, I tell you, I remember sitting over at the Palestra, we were talking, and you were coaching at Arizona, saying, hey, this is not for me, and the next thing I know, boy, well, you had the
well, you know what, I didn't like the college recruiting. The college recruiting was not for me, Gary. I really love the game, and I love teaching it, but that recruiting when you're an assistant is a tough life, making all those phone calls.
Well, Doug, as you well know, we are now experiencing the gamut of Philadelphia sports. We went from one of the great ecstasies of that you could imagine at 7 o'clock, and here we are a little over 2 hours later, and you're seeing another side of the Philadelphia fan.
Well, as Mike said, they're a group of people that aren't spectators. They're going to let you know what they feel, but I've always felt, and Gary, I know you being an athlete, that when you played 100% for these people, that they always appreciated your effort. And I think once you've played here and established yourself, you can always come back here and they respect you. And I really felt good tonight about the way they brought on Mike Schmidt, because probably he's going to be more recognized and appreciated now that he isn't playing, because he made the game look so easy when he was playing.
Presley is the hitter with a 9-2 Braves lead. Lonnie Smith at first base.
Is Chicago going to be home for you? That you think that's where you're going to?
Well, Gary, as it looks right now, Chris has got 2 more years of high school, and my daughter will be finishing up 8th grade while he's finishing up high school. If things work out, I wouldn't mind moving back to Arizona and living out there in the warmer weather and having some nice sunshine. But you know, year to year is so different. I just sort of wait and see what happens. But I really do like Chicago.
Phil should get out of the inning here as Charlie Hayes makes the play. And so now, at the end of 5 full innings, the Braves 9 and the Phils 2, and running out of gas.
I got a question to ask you. I'm listening to the game on the radio last night, and it's my understanding that early in the game, did Murphy get thrown at or get hit last night in the game? Did he get thrown at in the game?
No, Von Hayes did.
Well, I know Von Hayes got hit in the inning, and as I was listening to the game, and they said that maybe it was a payback because Murphy had got thrown at or whatever. I'm wondering at that stage of the game, Gary, would you throw at or try to hit somebody when a close ball game like that, or did a pitch get away from you?
Well, we talked about that a little bit. It was my estimation that the game was more important. They would not risk putting the tying run on base in a situation like that. With a long season like this, there's always time for retaliation.
Phil's down by 6. 1 out. Trying to creep back.
It's going to take more than creeping to get back into this one. It's going to have to be an all-out assault.
Well, take a couple runs at a time. Smith and Gant. And Lonnie Smith.
I'm not about to make any statement like a Jim Rooker made or anything like that. Don't even worry about that.
You can walk to Chicago back with me, right?
Yeah.
What was that, a 10-run deficit?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we win this game, fans, I'll walk back to Pittsburgh. Well,
if they lose.
Or lose this game, rather. I'll walk back to Pittsburgh.
He got a commercial out of him, like
that
commercial.
You know, Gary, I watched this Ricky Jordan last year against Chicago, or I guess maybe 2 years ago. Man, he looked like a good hitter, and I thought this guy was really going to be something. Has he had injury problems? Did he have some injury problems last year?
Last season he did. Came out of spring training with an injured wrist, but as you know, pretty good contact hitter. Doug, he's the type of player I think is going to find his groove one of these times, and then be able to not only utilize his hitting ability, but his long ball potential as well. Very strong.
He wore Chicago out in Wrigley Field one day. I remember watching him. Every time he came up, he got a base hit. He looked good.
Hurt a wrist a year ago. Looks at a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Doug Collins joining us.
Mike was on, and we were talking about he got a little winded out there, didn't he? With that
yeah, Mike's going to say a couple words.
Yeah.
When those pages on that book started flying, I said, we're in trouble.
Deep to left field, but not deep enough. Lonnie Smith with plenty of room. Puts it away. And the Phils go down here in the 5th. The Braves 9. The Phillies 3.
Frank, I send you for a Bud Light, and you bring back...
Well, Bud Light won't fill you up, never lets you down.
So, there are no men here, there's an unlimited supply of Bud Light, and we can never leave.
Correct.
Everything else is just a light.
We can live with that.
Yeah.
Well, 2 guys I know never seem to age. Dick Clark from American Bandstand, and you still look like you're on that Olympic team back in '72.
Well, I appreciate that, Jim. Life has been very good to me this year. It really has. It's you know, not coaching and having an opportunity to have some free time. It's been really good for me.
You working out at all?
Well, you know what, Gary, I'm into the old man workouts now. I walk and ride a bicycle. I can't do too much else.
You've always rode that bike.
Yeah, I like to ride the bike. It's a good exercise, both mental and physical for me. It's good therapy, so I like to do that. And my leg is too bad. I really can't get out and do too much. I played in the Legends game this year, and my legs swelled up on me, and that was about the end of my basketball. I just can't do that anymore.
How about your foot? You had
I
those
haven't any problems with that, Gary.
Right.
It's just that knee that I tore up last of my career. That's what really was the bugaboo, and it's really been with me. I tell you, if you've ever had a serious knee injury, it's something that you got with you every day.
As we watch the Fanatic cavort, Darryl Ackerfelds is the third Phillies pitcher. We're in the top of the 6th.
Is that still Dave Raymond in there, or they got a new one?
Yeah, that's him.
Talk about guys at number 8. There's another one.
I want to tell you what, he is tremendous. There's some mascots that you go around in a lot of the ballparks in basketball and baseball. He's right at the top of the list.
He'll appreciate that. He tapes all these
conferences. Oh, he's good. He really is good.
He's excellent.
I used to love it before the ball games when they'd introduce the starting lineup, and he had all the mannerisms of all the opposing players when they were being introduced.
That's right. Remember, we used to do that penguin when Ron Say used to come up there.
Yeah, it was good.
That's right, Doug. That's good.
Dale Murphy to start it for the Braves. You guys are doing great. I might just go get a hot dog.
I'm not in any play-by-play now.
Me either.
You get us on the air, we'll be okay, Jim. Don't do that to us.
Little excuse me by Murphy that's going to make the seats.
We'd be remiss not to ask about those Chicago Bulls. That was a good ball game today.
It was a big win for them. In the third period, there was about 6 minutes to go. They're down 14, and it looks like they're starting to lose a little spirit. Detroit had a little bit one of their lulls. Chicago jumped all over it. I thought they got a big game out of Ed Neely today. 9 points, 9 rebounds, played very well. And then Pippen and MJ were tremendous. I thought Scottie Pippen on the offensive boards, and then Michael was sensational today.
Well, you have to have a lot of satisfaction. I mean, that's the group you got together and had a lot to do with the molding of that team. So.
Absolutely, Gary. I feel very good. You know, when you watch Pippen and you watch some of these young players, and I'm sure it's a lot like a minor league manager who says, you know, I had Gary Maddox and I had Mike Schmidt or whatever, and they've cut their teeth and look what they're doing. You really do feel good about it because there's a certain way to learn how to play the game, and I think you know that, and I feel very good about that.
Good. I tell you, if there were anybody in this town that didn't appreciate how good a player Michael Jordan was, that got cleared up this past month.
Yeah, I've never seen an athlete like him in any sport, really. You see a Mike Schmidt in baseball and the Michael Jordans and all. It's amazing how a guy 6'6", 205 pounds can dominate a sport the way he does.
Is he as good as a golfer as they say?
Oh, he's about a 9 handicapper. I mean, Michael really loves to play, and Michael's the kind of kid that if he goes out on the course, there's no such a thing as 18 holes for him. You're going to play 54 or 72. He's going to play until his hands are bleeding, and that's...
I used to feel that good.
Yeah. We'll give him a few years.
Yeah, right.
The knuckle curve gets Murphy.
Doug, this guy Ackerfeld made the team late in spring training this year, and I mean the Phillies have been able to call on him in just about every ball game, doing a good job.
You know, the Cubs had a guy like that last year, although he was a little bit a guy who'd been with them for a while. Les Lancaster pitched so well for them last year. He came in and it seemed like every time that he pitched, he did such a tremendous job.
That was Dave Justice in a fine play, reaching for the ball. Von Hayes. 2 gone in a hurry here, and
you see Vaughn coming in on this. This is a tough play. Whenever that ball is below your waist and you lose sight of it for a little while, split second, that's a very difficult play. Nice play by Vaughn.
Gary, there's nobody any smoother out there than you. I want to tell you that right now.
Thanks,
that might be blowing a little smoke, but I've never seen anybody cover the kind of ground you did out there.
Thanks, I appreciate it. You know, all that's good.
Andres Thomas missed us by 10, 15 feet. Missed that one too. Associated Press, Jackie Shore there makes that play. Bob Patrone in the background.
Boy, I tell you come to Philadelphia and there's certain people you never forget. Bob Patrone and some of the guys. This is brings back a lot of memories for me, Jim.
Little short pop behind second base, and Booker takes it. And the Phil's able now to retire the Braves in order. We head now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Atlanta 9, the Phil's 3.
Well, I think off the field, you know, real nice, shy. I could be naive and everything, but once you get in between those lines, like you said, it's just a competition thing. Them guys are going after you hard, and you got to go after them hard. I think you have to be aggressive out there, or you won't succeed at this game. You know, when I was growing up, I had a bad little temper too, so there's still some of that in me. So when I step out on the lines, I let that come back. I think I lead by going out and playing hard, whereas I think Tommy Hurt might be that type of guy too. He's an older guy, but you know, he goes out on the field and leads out on the field. I don't speak too much in the clubhouse where it be on baseball saying you do this, do that, do that, because I'm still learning myself. But you know, I'm always there to pick guys up and stay positive, I think, because I want guys to be behind me too, even though I'm a young guy. You know, I just try to stay positive with guys and help guys out and lead that way.
You could take an instant vacation courtesy of Rosenbluth Travel and Guest Quarters when the Phillies play the Mets Friday, June 1st at 7:35. Pack your bags, cross your fingers, and come to the vet. For information, call 463-1000.
Ricky Jordan, not a very happy birthday for him so far, as the Phils are down 9-3. Heading into the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, you don't really notice those birthdays when you play baseball. If you have a birthday during the season, it's just like very uneventful. Because if you get up there and you're not getting your hits, it's frustrating. I tell you, Jim, I like Ricky Jordan a lot. I like his work ethic, but I think he's just a fine young man.
Pete Smith in control of this one. The Phils with just 4 hits, 3 runs. Bon Hayes with 2 RBIs on a single in the 1st inning, and then Dave Hollins with his first major league home run. Really conked it. John Kruk will get set to head to the plate now.
You mentioned earlier, if the Phillies are going to get back in the ball game, it's going to have to be a few runs at a time. A situation like this, when a team gives up, you'll notice the game will go pretty fast because they'll go up there swinging at everything. But if the Phillies are going to try and get back in it, it's take a pitch here, work the pitcher, and try and play for that big inning.
So let's key in on see how the Phils approach this. John Kruk, an interesting thing though. John's anxious to get his stroke back and get a few base hits, which is contradictory to kind of waiting up there and maybe getting taking a couple.
Well, you definitely want to get your stroke, but winning the game is most important, and you have to do what it takes. And a lot of times it's, hey, make the pitcher throw strikes and try and get on any way you can. That individual stuff is good, but you have to at least pretend like you want the team to
win. 2 balls and no strikes. Kenny Howell. It is a little chilly here. All those warm bodies that were here early, many of them have headed back home. Kruk will send this one straight up in the air. And an easy put out for Gant, 1 away.
All right, he had a 2-0 pitch. Again, a chance to get the pitcher in trouble. You might want to look at one in that situation. But again, 2-0, it's a good time to swing the bat if you're going to try and hit the ball.
Always a reaction whenever John Kruk does anything.
Ball's up a little bit, and again, he's trying to pull that ball, really opening up and trying to pull the ball.
Charlie Hayes takes a strike.
See Pete Smith that time. Breaking ball to start to hit her off.
Those Oakland A's continue to pile it on. 6-3 winners today over Cleveland. 2 more RBIs for Jose Canseco. He's got 47 RBIs, Gary, and it's, where are we? Not even Memorial Day yet.
I said I haven't had a chance to see him play.
Oh, I'm telling you, you won't forget it. Thomas in the dirt. Olsen backs up.
I think that's going to be a base hit for Charlie Hayes right there. Thomas, that ball just kind of air shortstop, they call it.
Well, you know what? He's got the bad reputation. He's like a guy that kind of drifts out there and makes a lot of errors.
But you see where he had to feel that ball down below his waist. He was there in time to make the play, and it took a bad hop. He had to feel it below his waist and then had to rush his throw. I mean, and you are the home team. Give the guy a base hit. Watch where he has to feel the ball. He's there in plenty of time, but it takes that bad hop and goes back to his right. Then it forces his. That's what caused the bad throw.
Phils have put new dirt around the bases, supposedly making it harder, making it a truer, harder bounce. You saw 2 bounces, one to Thomas and one to first base.
You can see, I mean, I don't know if the camera will show it, but the dirt around the base paths, around the bases themselves, are a lot darker than around home plate and on the pitcher's mound.
Dickie Thon takes a opening strike.
So you can see the difference. There's on the bases right there how dark it is and how light it is at home plate and first base and the pitcher's mound.
A bit inside. Where's that Dick Allen? We're going to try and track him down.
Now, Dick told me personally he was coming here because you asked.
Yeah, well, I'll add something to that in a second. We got together last April, and he had asked me to track some things down for him and find the whereabouts of this person and so forth. And he was making numerous trips back to Philly, and he'd call. Today was the first time we touched base since last April. What a play. Pete Smith snares that bullet. And so the Phils are down in the sixth. The Braves continue to lead this one 9-3. And we'll have scores and highlights now from all about the major leagues.
All right, thanks, Jim Barnack. A lot of entertaining developments around Major League Baseball tonight. We'll begin in Pittsburgh with the red-hot Kevin Mitchell. Had 3 home runs yesterday, came right back tonight, and bang, got his 4th in 5 at-bats. This one would tie the game at 1, but they're still in some serious trouble on the scoreboard. We'll tell you about in a moment. Meantime, Glenn Davis also hitting a lot of home runs. He had 9 RBIs, 3 home runs in a doubleheader today as the Astros took 2 from the Cubs. On the scoreboard we go. Houston wins it 8-1 and 12-3. Rob Dibble gets a win as Cincinnati beats Montreal on a Chris Sabo home run. Jack Clark has fractured his cheekbone. New York leads San Diego 7-0. L.A. on top of St. Louis by a score of 5-0. A record set today in the American League. Ricky Henderson, running like a fine machine, stole career base number 892 today, tied Ty Cobb for the all-time American League record, and it came in another Oakland victory. Dennis Eckers lead the save, Bob Welch the win, a 6-3 Oakland win. Cecil Fielder hit home run number 18, but Chicago beat Detroit. Kansas City all over the Yankees, a 5-5 tie at Minnesota, and Texas leads Baltimore 4-3 in the 4th inning of play. Meantime, on Mike Schmidt night at the Vet, the Phils are down big. Jim Barnack has the 7th in just a moment.
How do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? You start with a real premium beer. That's how Anheuser-Busch makes new O'Doul's. O'Doul's is carefully brewed, fully fermented, and cold-aged. Then the alcohol is naturally removed, retaining all the great taste. So how do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? Ask for an ice-cold O'Doul's. O'Doul's, the taste will win you over.
Well, we had Doug Collins, who really knows how to handle himself behind a microphone. And Gary, we find somebody else now that can carry us through these next inning or so.
And we have the bopper here.
The bopper, that's right, Gary.
Dallas Green, the voice I'm sure so familiar to all of you. How you been?
Well, I'm retired, so I've been fine. I've got these gray hairs from putting up with guys like Maddox and some of these guys out here you're watching tonight. But it's a shame this happened tonight, but that's baseball, as they say.
Well, Dallas, I know you and Mike had a real close relationship, and it had to be great to see him out there receiving that tribute tonight.
Well, Gary, it's the ultimate. It's when you have your uniform retired by the organization that you grew up with. It's something special, and certainly for Mike, I think we're all proud of what he's accomplished over the years. But this was a real special night for him, and it should be, because he's accomplished a great deal for the city of Philadelphia, for baseball itself. I'm proud of Mike Schmidt. I want everybody to understand that. There were a lot of times when you and I argued, and Mike Schmidt and I argued, but I think what it boiled down to is that we're professionals. We like to win, and we strove to be the best we possibly could. And Mike Schmidt is, without a doubt in my mind, the greatest third baseman I've ever seen in baseball.
That one nearly gets away from Ackerville. You and I never argued, though, did we?
Barnes, you and I never did anything except we started this whole mess off years and years ago.
Oh, boy. So true.
That's right. We did a show, Gary, well-renowned show for Prism when I was managing, and Barnes was getting his debut.
What was I?
Well, you were getting your feet wet, I guess.
Yeah. They're still damp.
But Dallas, you came to the Phillies at a time where, you know, it had pretty good teams, but we felt that they felt something was missing. It was a big time in Mike's life, and I know he credits you with helping to get him over that final hurdle to mature, you know, not only as a team leader, but, you know, as a fine ball player, and he really speaks highly of you in that regard, as does Pete Rose. So, you know, those are some pretty good compliments.
Well, I appreciate that. It's you know, hindsight's always 20/20, but I just felt that we could, you know, we could accomplish a little bit more than we were able to accomplish in the early 70s if we stuck together as a team. But we needed great individual performances from you and certainly from Schmitty and from Bo and from Booney and all the rest of the guys that were on that baseball team. We got them, but we learned to win as a baseball team, and I felt that was really the most important thing that Mike learned all in all. He always had statistics, and he was always able to put the statistics and numbers up. But the key is the team has to win.
Out number 2, and I know you got a charge out of seeing some folks I would guess you haven't seen in quite a while. The Bull and Dick Allen, and I could go on with a couple others.
He probably hunts with Bull all the time.
Well, Bull is a neat guy. You know, I had him I was his first manager. He was 17 years old when he came to Huron, South Dakota. We kind of broke in together. There were some rocky times in 1980 with Bull and I, but I never lost respect for his talent. Bull was a special guy.
Gant, the hitter, and he watches one bounce up there. You tuning into much baseball down on the farm?
Well, I do some reading. I certainly watch what the Phillies do, and I certainly read a little bit about what the Cubs do, and I'm always anxious to see the Yankees score now. But other than that, I just try to keep pace with what's going on the best I can, and enjoy my time with my family.
Are you looking for that right situation to get you back in the game?
Well, Gary, I've had a lot of fun in baseball for 35 years, and it's been great for my family and for my stability of life, so to speak. And whether I get back or whether I don't just depends on baseball. I have made it a secret that I'd like to get back in an expansion situation, but I don't always I want to do anything else. I've done a lot of the things that I set goals for myself, and I've accomplished those, and if anything else leads from that, so be it. If not, I'm very happy doing what I want to do.
Well, as I've told you this before, there's one picture that will stand out forever in Phillies history, and that's you and the Pope hugging one another after the big victory.
Well, Jim, Paul Owens did an awful lot for Dallas Green, and I've never forgotten that, and I try in my own way to always include Pope, because I think he's been very special to Philadelphia baseball. He taught me an awful lot about the game, and he taught me a lot about people, and I'll never forget what Paul Owens did for Dallas Green, and I hope that a lot of people in Philadelphia never forget what he's done for the Phillies.
Oh, there's no question about that. And that's a very good topic to bring up, Paul Owens. He had to feel as proud as anyone of Mike Schmidt and what he has accomplished in his league.
Well, I'll never forget that draft. When we drafted Smitty, Gary, I was Paul's assistant. Was my first year as helping him out in the scouting field, and Paul went against a couple of his key guys to get Smitty. He said, "This guy's an athlete. This guy he's got great potential." And Paul was able to look at that potential, see the move from shortstop to third base, which a lot of people can't see when they're evaluating personnel. And Pope drafted him, signed him, and the rest is history.
And I can't think, when I was on the team, I cannot think of a road trip when Pope was not along. I mean, it was a big family there.
Well, Gary, that's what made Pope special for his players and for the general managers around him, because he was a field person, and he knew what was going on the field. He knew what was going on in the clubhouse, even though he didn't interfere with his managers nearly as much as probably I did or other people have done in the past. Pope was always on the ball and knew what was going on with his baseball team.
Yeah, you kind of had a pretty good idea of what you wanted to accomplish out there too. You know, and we talk about hindsight, and when I look back and some of the adversity I had, you know, with you, it was just, you know, I didn't see the same vision, I guess, that you did, and it caused a little bit of a conflict. But I can think when it got down to the playoffs and to the big games, you didn't let that stand in the way of putting me in the lineup or something like that. And I look back, and I have to respect you for that. I've told you that since then, and I really mean that.
Well, again, hindsight's always 20/20, Gary, and we were able to bring it off and win because you guys had the talent to do it. I knew in my heart that you had the talent. I just felt that guys like you and Greg Luzinski that we're looking at, and the Mike Schmidts and the Bows and the Boones that made up that ball club had so much more to go. They just had to give us just a little bit more. Even though in your hearts, I know you felt that you were given everything that you had every single day, I just knew that because of the way baseball was, that brass ring was only going to come along one more time for you guys. And you grabbed it, and I'm proud as the devil to have been part of it.
Well, you can see why my finger here that I'm proud of it, too.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Beauty of it is it's all captured in that moment we talked about, and all you guys running off the field in Houston, and of course, thereafter.
Well, and who did we go for? We went for the guy that had made the boo-boo in, what, 1978?
Yep.
That hurt us so bad in L.A., Gary Maddox, and we got him because he was the guy that did the job for us at the end. And I think we all respected each other because we were able to put those kinds of things aside and play together as a team and win together as a team. All I wanted to do as a Philadelphia person was to bring it together, and the guys had to win it. The Gary Maddoxes, the Schmidts, the Boas, Boones, they had to win it, and they did.
So, but as soon as everyone kind of got used to you, boom, you're off to Chicago right after that 81 season.
Gary, I don't regret it, but at the same time, you know, I've been a Philadelphia guy. I was 25 years in the organization before I left, and it was a very difficult decision for me. But it was an opportunity that as a baseball person, I just couldn't resist and couldn't turn down.
You know, and it was after the 81 season, but, you know, that was a strike year, and we won the first half. We had a chance of repeating, actually, that year. We had a good ball club.
Gary, in my mind, had there not been a strike, we would have walked away with the National League East and probably would have repeated as champions. What I couldn't get going again was that same enthusiasm after the second half, during the second half, when in fact we were basically champions. All we had to do was show up and
Treadway has got 2 already.
Make it 3.
And he's having a career. The 3rd home run of the ball game for Jeff Treadway. Gary, we might have to include him in our start of the game.
Well, he certainly is tonight. There's no question about that. And the kid, you know, they've talked an awful lot about him, I know. He can swing the bat. When I was with the Cubs, they talked an awful lot about trading him, and we just never, and then when I went over to the Yankees, they really wanted him badly, and we just couldn't cut the deal. But I guess Atlanta's pretty happy that they didn't trade him right now.
I tell you, he hit a breaking ball his first time up, a hanging breaking ball from Combs, then 2 fastballs. He just jumped all over.
Well, he's a good fastball hitter from what I saw in spring training, Gary. He can hunt after that fastball pretty good.
Here's one of your kids right here.
Yeah, Big Lonnie. I love it. Skates. He's never lost that tag, but I'll tell you one thing. He's overcome a lot of adversity in his life, and he's battled back pretty good. I'm proud of him.
I tell you, did he hustle all the time or what?
Yes. Lonnie Smith, from the day we signed him out of the Watts area, he was special.
Well, the Braves adding 2 more, and at the end now of 6½, Atlanta 11. The Phillies 3 will be back with Gary and Dallas Green right after this.
You want a bank who'll match your style.
Must be Tuesday.
And we hear you. You want someone who helps make banking easier. Someone who knows you best and shows it. You want a bank that knows how to help your business build for a better tomorrow. A bank that rolls up its sleeves and works. And we hear you.
We're First Pennsylvania, and we hear you. We hear you.
Phillies Fitness with Dick Vermeil, presented by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
When you're a pinch hitter and a backup outfielder, you always have to be ready to play. Kurt Ford is a player who recognizes this. But when he's not giving a baseball a ride, he likes to...
And you don't know about just one game, but Darryl Strawberry certainly has had a strong game tonight. He said maybe he needs a little more mean in him. Big night tonight, though.
Big night tonight, 3 base hits with the home run. There was an article in the Los Angeles Times quoting Darryl Strawberry about the same subject. He's been very passive. He said, it's only a matter of time until my competitiveness takes over. And maybe that is a good sign here tonight. There's nothing like a few base hits to make you feel better.
That's right.
Now Darrell Boston, who has had 2 base hits in this game, also has walked. Been on base all 4 times. He reached on an error. And the count 1-1. And the curveball, it's called a strike. 1-2. Pitcher of record on the losing side, Mike Dunn, making his first start of the year, went 4 innings, gave up 6 runs, allowed 7 hits, struck out 3, and walked 1. Shaw worked 2, gave up a run and a base hit. Giraldi now working his 2nd inning. And he has given up 3 runs on 3 hits. Sid Fernandez on the winning side.
Gary, I think you will agree that the talent is pretty well spread around. Jim, you've watched it for years and years. And you know that this game is pretty much on an equal basis. It just depends on that given year whether the ball club's going to stay healthy, whether they have the motivation to get it done, and whether they play up to their potential.
Gary and I were talking earlier. I think you'd have real parity if you took Jose Canseco out of the game.
Well,
gave him to the Green Bay Packers or something.
Well, the Athletics on paper, it's the same old thing. What you look like on paper doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the pennant, because I'll guarantee you experts have picked Kansas City to do pretty well, and they're certainly rocky as any team in baseball right now for some reason.
The Chicago Cubs, your old team, has done a flip-flop.
Exactly. And who would have thought that the Pittsburgh Pirates would be up there battling, or even, God bless us, the Philadelphia Phillies, who claimed that the Philadelphia Phillies were going to be able to do some damage in the National League East. But Gary, you know yourself, you've played this game long enough to know that if things go right and the ball players start to believe in themselves, and you stay in the hunt just a little while and get a little confidence, that can mean an awful lot to a baseball team.
So many of these fans have hung around now for one more at bat with this guy, and he has been something.
Well, Lenny's a real spark plug, and should be.
to deep center field. Gantz caught everything, hit his way, and wraps this one up as well. So unless we get a real turnaround here, it appears as though Lenny's going to go hitless this evening.
Well, we've got a couple of more innings here. We might get another at bat, Jim.
Jim's that's the old newspaper guy coming out. See, he's not sure, Gary. He's not sure that can happen. But we've seen a lot of baseball games like this where the momentum and change just happens very, very quickly, and it can mount up in a hurry.
But not this time in the 7th inning, and the Phils go down. We head to the 8th. It's Atlanta 11 and the Phillies 3.